All right, get ready, because today we're going deep into a wine region you might not expect.
Wow.
Angola.
Angola.
Yeah, we're not talking about the usual suspects like France or Italy.
Right.
We're going to a country some are saying could be a major player in the wine world,
Wow.
maybe even rivaling South Africa in production within the next decade.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some experts are even calling it a sleeping giant. And after digging into these articles, I think I can see why.
That's fascinating. Most people probably don't even think about Angola having vineyards.
Exactly. So our mission today is to explore what makes Angolan wines so unique.
Right.
We'll unpack the terroir, the grapes, even the winemaking. You ready to swirl and sip?
Metaphorically, of
Oh,
course.
okay.
Absolutely. Let's start with setting the scene. Angola, the unexpected wine frontier.
Perfect. I'm intrigued already.
So Angola, geographically speaking, it's a land of contrasts. It's got this incredible coastline along the Atlantic Ocean, and it's kissed by this cool Benguela current.
Ah, so almost like a natural air conditioner for the vineyards?
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
And it's not just the coast.
Okay.
If you venture inland, you find these high-altitude regions, especially the Central Plateau,
Okay.
where the grapes experience these dramatic temperature swings between day and night.
Oh, wow. So this results in some pretty balanced flavors.
Yes, perfectly balanced flavors.
I see.
Warm days ripen the grapes, while cool nights preserve the acidity.
So we're talking complexity in a bottle. I'm in. But what about the soil? Is that as diverse as the landscape?
Absolutely. You bet. Think sandy soils near the coast,
Okay.
clay soils further inland,
Okay.
and even volcanic soils in certain areas.
Wow.
And this incredible variety contributes to a whole range of wine styles.
Okay. I'm starting to understand why people are excited about this region. Benguela current, altitude, diverse soils. It's like Mother Nature handpicked Angola for winemaking. But let's talk about the grapes themselves. We've got this mix of Portuguese and international varieties, right?
You hit the nail on the head. The Portuguese influence is definitely there. Varieties like Touriga Nacional, Tinto Roriz, and Fernão Pires.
Okay.
These grapes thrive here. They add this unique character to Angolan wines.
It's like a taste of history in every sip. But hold on, I'm seeing Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Syrah, Chardonnay. These are international stars.
Yeah, and they're not just making an appearance, they're flourishing.
Wow.
Angolan winemakers aren't afraid to experiment.
Really?
Yeah, they want to see what works best in this unique terroir.
That's what I love about discovering new wine regions, that sense of possibility. But what I'm really excited about is the possibility of discovering unique, native Angolan grape varieties.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine a wine made from a grape found nowhere else on Earth.
Now that would be a game changer.
Absolutely. Okay, we've talked terroir, we've talked grapes, but what about the journey from vine to bottle? What about the winemaking process in Angola?
Well, remember, we're dealing with a diverse climate,
Hmm.
which presents challenges for winemakers.
Okay.
It calls for adaptability,
Right.
a deep understanding of the land.
So it's not just about following a recipe.
No, not at all. What's fascinating is that Angolan winemakers are embracing a blend of traditional and modern approaches.
Mm,
Some vineyards might be using ancient methods like foot-treading grapes.
really?
Others are integrating cutting-edge technology for greater control.
So I'm picturing this beautiful fusion of old world charm and new world innovation. But are we starting to see a distinct personality emerge in Angolan wines? Are they developing their own unique style?
Absolutely. The winemakers are acting as interpreters of the terroir, crafting wines that truly reflect the region's character.
So when you sip an Angolan wine, you're essentially tasting the soil, the climate, the history, all those elements we've been discussing.
Precisely. It's what we call typicity in the wine world,
Yeah.
the expression of a specific place.
Right.
And Angolan wines are starting to tell that story beautifully.
That's what makes exploring a new wine region so rewarding. You're tasting something truly unique, something that speaks to the place it comes from. Now, I know no good story is without its challenges. What are some of the hurdles Angolan winemakers are facing?
One of the biggest challenges is the phylloxera epidemic that swept through Europe in the 19th century.
Wow.
A tiny little insect that feeds on the roots of grapevines.
Oh, no.
It can devastate entire vineyards.
Oh, wow. That sounds serious. So how are Angolan winemakers dealing with that?
It's a constant battle.
Right.
Some are turning to resistant rootstock, which means grafting European vines onto American rootstock that's naturally resistant to phylloxera.
Okay.
Others are experimenting with different planting techniques and soil management practices to create an environment that's less hospitable to the pest.
So it's a mix of ingenuity and adaptation.
Exactly.
Wow.
And while phylloxera is a major concern, there are other obstacles too.
Like what?
Well, access to technology and skilled labor is still limited in certain areas, and building a reliable infrastructure for transportation and distribution is crucial for getting these wines out into the world.
It sounds like there's a lot of work to be done, but also a lot of potential for growth and development.
Absolutely. That's what makes the Angolan wine story so compelling. It's a story of resilience, innovation, and a deep passion for crafting exceptional wines.
I am already captivated, and we've only just scratched the surface. What other surprises does Angola have in store for us? Let's find out in part 2 of our deep dive. Welcome back to our Angolan wine adventure.
It's great to be back.
I'm glad you're back. We're uncovering the layers of this unique wine region.
Right.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion. There's
Exactly.
always something new to discover.
Yeah.
Last time we were discussing the challenges the Angolan winemakers are facing, like
Mhm.
phylloxera,
Right. Yeah.
infrastructure limitations.
Right.
But even with those hurdles, there's this incredible sense of resilience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the spirit that runs through Angola's wine industry.
Right.
A determination to overcome adversity and
Mhm.
create something special.
Right.
A testament to the enduring human connection to the land and the traditions that have been passed down for generations.
It's inspiring to witness. It makes me even more curious about their winemaking heritage. Where exactly does Angola's history with wine begin?
Well, the roots of Angolan viticulture can be traced back to the 16th century
Okay.
with the arrival of the Portuguese.
Oh, the Portuguese, of course.
They brought with them their vines and their winemaking expertise,
Mm.
laying the foundation for what would become a thriving industry.
It's fascinating how these historical connections shape a region's wine identity.
Yeah,
I'm sensing a strong Portuguese influence here.
absolutely. The Portuguese impact is undeniable.
Mhm.
Early vineyards were often planted by missionaries
Okay.
who used wine for religious purposes.
Wow. Imagine those early pioneers tending to their vines in this new and unfamiliar land.
It must have been quite an adventure. And over time, though, winemaking expanded beyond religious use.
Right.
During the colonial period, new grape varieties were introduced.
Right.
Estates were established, producing wine for both local consumption and export.
So there was a time when Angolan wine was flowing beyond its borders.
Yes, it was a period of growth and recognition for Angolan wine. Unfortunately, this progress was interrupted
Oh, no.
by the Civil War that began in 1975,
Right.
shortly after Angola gained independence.
That must have been devastating for the industry.
It was a major setback. Vineyards were abandoned, destroyed.
Wow.
Wine production essentially ground to a halt. A dark period for Angolan wine, but thankfully a temporary one.
Because, like we said, resilience is kind of woven into the fabric of this nation.
Yeah.
They didn't give up on their winemaking dreams.
Exactly. In recent decades, we've witnessed a remarkable revival. Peace and stability have allowed the wine industry to slowly rebuild. New investments are pouring in, leading to the replanting of vineyards and the emergence of a new generation of winemakers eager to make their mark.
It's like a phoenix rising from the ashes. It gives me chills.
It's a powerful image, and it speaks to that indomitable spirit of the Angolan people. And now I know you're eager to learn more about the wines themselves.
Right.
What makes them so unique?
Absolutely. We've talked terroir and history, but what about the taste?
Right.
What should our listeners expect when they encounter an Angolan wine?
Well, the beauty of Angolan wine lies in its diversity.
Okay.
You'll find elegant whites with a refreshing minerality
Okay.
to bold, spicy reds.
Wow.
There's a style for every palate. The cool Benguela current moderates the coastal regions,
Right.
making them ideal for producing crisp whites like Sauvignon Blanc and Chenin Blanc.
I love both of those.
These wines often exhibit vibrant citrus notes, a touch of salinity from the ocean breeze, and a refreshing acidity.
I'm already picturing myself on a beach with a glass of Angolan Sauvignon Blanc.
It's the perfect pairing.
Sounds perfect.
Now, if you head inland to the higher altitude regions, you'll discover reds that are a bit more intense.
Oh, okay.
The warmer days and cooler nights allow grapes like Touriga National and Syrah to develop rich fruit flavors, firm tannins, and a complexity that makes them age-worthy.
So they were a wine for every occasion.
That's exactly what makes Angola so exciting.
Right.
It caters to a wide range of preferences. And we can't forget about the sparkling wines that are starting to emerge.
Speaking of bubbles, are we seeing any traditional method sparkling wines coming out of Angola?
Yes, some producers are embracing the traditional method, which involves a secondary fermentation in the bottle, just like champagne.
Oh, wow.
This results in complex, fine-beaded sparklers
Okay.
with aromas of brioche and toasted nuts. It's a testament to the meticulous craftsmanship of these winemakers.
So we've got a taste of history, a diverse terroir, a variety of grapes, and even some bubbly.
Yeah.
It's making me wonder about the people behind these wines. What can you tell us about the Angolan winemakers themselves?
Well, what I find truly remarkable is the blend of tradition and innovation.
Right.
That defines their approach to winemaking.
Okay.
Some winemakers are deeply rooted in traditional methods,
Hmm.
honoring the techniques passed down through generations.
Okay.
You might find them foot-treading grapes
Oh, wow.
or fermenting in clay pots,
Okay.
practices that have been used in Angola for centuries.
That's fascinating. It's like they're keeping those ancient traditions alive.
Exactly. But at the same time, you have this new wave of winemakers who are eager to experiment with modern techniques,
Really?
exploring different grape varieties,
Okay.
introducing new oak regimes, and even experimenting with organic and biodynamic viticulture. It's a dynamic fusion of old and new.
That sounds like a recipe for success.
It certainly does. This willingness to embrace both tradition and innovation is what sets Angolan winemakers apart.
Right.
They're not afraid to push boundaries while respecting their heritage. It's a recipe for truly unique and expressive wines.
It's a story of resilience, reinvention, and a deep passion for the craft. This deep dive has given me a newfound appreciation for Angolan wine.
Good.
But I have a feeling we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
What other insights await us in part 3?
Welcome back to our final chapter of our Angolan wine adventure.
Yeah.
We've explored the terroir,
Right.
the history, the grape varieties, even
Yes.
delved into the winemaking.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. But what resonates with me is the spirit of the Angolan people,
Yes.
their resilience,
Right.
their passion for winemaking,
It's really.
and their determination to put Angola on the world wine map is truly inspiring.
Speaking of the world wine map,
Yeah.
what do you think the future holds for Angolan wine?
That's the question I have. I'm curious about their potential for export. We touched on it a little bit earlier,
Right.
but I want to dive a bit deeper.
Yeah.
What do you think it would take for Angolan wines to make a splash on the international scene?
Well, for starters, consistency is key. Okay.
Consumers need to know they can rely on the quality and style of Angolan wines.
Right.
Each bottle should be a delicious expression of that unique terroir.
So it's about delivering on the promise of that Angolan character.
Exactly.
That typic.
Precisely. And beyond consistency,
Okay.
marketing and promotion play a crucial role.
Right.
The world needs to hear the story of Angolan wine.
Okay.
The history, the challenges, the triumphs.
Right.
It's about showcasing the quality, the diversity,
Right.
and the cultural heritage that make these wines so special.
I'm already picturing a campaign. Uncork Angola. Discover the unexpected.
Oh, I like that. That's catchy.
What do you think?
I love it. And of course,
Yeah.
distribution is vital. Getting those bottles onto shelves, into restaurants worldwide, is essential for reaching a broader audience.
So it's a multifaceted challenge, but one I believe Angolan winemakers are prepared to tackle. They have the ambition, the passion, the
Right.
quality to compete. But I also wonder about potential challenges they might face.
Right.
What obstacles do you foresee?
I think one of the biggest hurdles is the perception of African wines.
Okay.
They're often overlooked or misunderstood in the global market.
So it's about breaking through those preconceived notions and showcasing the incredible diversity and quality that African wines,
Yeah,
particularly Angolan wines, have to offer.
exactly. It's about shifting perspectives and inviting the world to discover a whole new realm of wine experiences.
And who knows,
Yeah.
maybe Angolan wine will become the next big trend.
Mm.
I can already see it.
Oh, yeah.
Angolan wine bars popping up in major cities worldwide.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Before we wrap up,
Yeah?
I have one final question for you.
Okay.
If you could give one piece of advice to an aspiring Angolan winemaker, what would it be?
I would say embrace your heritage, but don't be afraid to innovate.
Okay.
Experiment, explore, and find your own unique voice.
Right.
The world is eager to hear your story and to taste the wines you create.
Beautifully said. And to our listeners, we say keep an open mind,
Yeah.
a curious palate, and a thirst for adventure.
Right.
The world of wine is full of surprises.
Yes.
And Angola is a destination worth exploring.
Absolutely.
So let's raise a glass to the future of Angolan wine.
Yes. Salud.
And that concludes our deep dive into the fascinating world of Angolan wine.
Well done.
We hope you enjoyed this journey of discovery as much as we have.
It was a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.